Hi, everyone. Welcome back. This is our fifth seminar. I hope you guys are enjoying everything. Again, my name is Tom Camacho. I'm a grant writer and a fundraiser. Been doing this since about
Okay,
2020.
stop.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, they're webinars. I meant to tell you that earlier. Not you say you're all the
Oh,
time you've been calling them seminars.
okay. Because yeah,
Okay.
that's how I do them.
So I know. So let me go back and stop the recording again.
Okay.
Hang on. I'm sorry, but I want to make sure, we get consistency. God darn
Yep.
it. Oh, okay, go.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. This is our fifth webinar. It's where to look for funding. Again, I'm Tom Camacho. I've been a grant writer and fundraiser since about 2020. So I've been doing this for a number of years and recently decided to focus just on equine-based businesses and other animal-related nonprofits. We're going forward like that. It's been a great journey so far, and I want to thank you guys for participating. I'm going to share my screen with my presentation now. Let me see if this will work. I'm a little bit technologically challenged. I may know how to write grants, but not as great with technology. So we're going to see how this goes. It's not what I want. As you can see, we're
I can see it.
okay. I'm trying to start it over. It's not letting me start it over there. No. There we go. Well, glory be. Okay, so we're going to start this off with where to look for funding. I'm going to begin with government grants. Government grants are the toughest one, actually. I probably should put that at the end, but I'm going to put it first because I would say this would be the last one that you would look at when you're considering looking for grants, and especially if you're a newer nonprofit, I really kind of would shy away from these, but it's a good thing to know because along down the road things change, and there's a lot of work now going with the VA. That's where those grants are gonna live, or in the government grants. So the website that you're going to go to is grants.gov. That is the federal funding portal. It's a portal that just there's thousands and thousands of grants. There is a search feature to it, so you can kind of narrow things down a little bit. But some of those grants are really technologically written, so you really have to know what you're looking for, and they're numbered, big numbers. Who's eligible are nonprofits, the travel organizations, and then state and local governments are eligible for these grants. No individual grants on these, and it's a lot of research-based things, and then a lot of really heavy programmatic things, infrastructure, things like that. As you would imagine, it would be government. The registration steps for grants.gov, it is entailed. It takes quite a bit. So the first thing you're going to do is go on the site, and you're going to set up your unique entity identifier, which is a number that you're going to get in like 7 to 10 business days. This can take up to a month to just get registered for this, and then there's upkeep to it. This unique identif I don't know why I can't say the entity identifier, the UEI. There we go. Uh, Changes, I think, every 45 days. I don't remember exactly, but you have to go back in and download that number and keep it to be able to access your site. Um, And yes, you've got to make sure that everything is kind of not kind of, everything is really strict the way you do everything. Your email has to be exactly the same. All of the names of who is in charge of what on that have to be the same. I had to change one for the last organization I was with, and just changing the person took 4 months. So just be ready for that. Um, Searching for the grants, there is a search, a keyword search that you can do in there. But like I said, they're numbered, and sometimes they're named very strangely. So it's a little bit difficult. I don't want to be totally negative on government grants because they can be very beneficial and they can be huge. So it's something that you need to think about. But I'm just going to let you know that it's not easy. You're going to want to start your registration early. The process, like I said, can take up to a month, sometimes longer. So it's a lot like getting your 501(c)(3). Just think of it kind of like that. You have to renew your sam.gov, which is your grants. The sam.gov is what feeds into the grants.gov. So you go into SAM, and I know this is very confusing. I'm sorry, you guys, but you go into the SAM and then you can access the grants. You can't download your application package from grants.gov until you're in your SAM. So it just takes some time, but it's doable if you choose to go that way. But like I said, only 10% to 20% of the applications are funded, and you have to follow the rules stringently. So that's it for the government grants. I want to go on to the foundation grants, which is going to be the ones that you're generally going to work with. I just kind of listed a couple of uh, sources for finding the foundation grants. Foundation grants generally are on, your family foundations where somebody puts a piece of their estate into like an interest bearing account or stocks or whatever. And whatever the proceeds are from that go out as grants. So here's some of the equine specific foundations that where you can find these grants. Equus Foundation, AQHA Quarter Horse, Thoroughbred. I've gone through the Thoroughbred one before and it's pretty good. So we got funded once. Path International Course, and then that's going to be your EAL and your EAP. Some of the animal welfare foundations, the ASPCA, they're very good actually. They give out a lot of money, $200 million granted since 2001. They're not huge grants generally, but they do fund. The Banfield Foundation is for disaster relief. There's another foundation that's called it's not coming to me right now. I can't remember it. But again, those if if there's a fire, if there's a flood and you lose facilities, and they'll do like emergency hay, do medical. If you have a medical emergency, they can do veterinary and things like that. The Kenneth A. Scott Charitable Trust that funds the equine therapy, which is great, and the adoption programs, but it is specific to the Midwest region. And you really, when you're doing your searches, make sure that you do look at locations because a lot of times you'll go through and you'll start to do the application and it's only in Alabama, So you really want to make sure that you get that straightened out before you go to apply. Homes for Horses Coalition, that's another emergency fund. That was the one I was thinking of. Sorry about that. Uh, and they also do stuff with the wild horses, so they're really great. Fleet of Angels, another emergency assistance. Uh, and then the Binky Foundation, which does startup grants for new animal welfare nonprofits. So when you're just starting out, you can go to those guys. They're not very big grants. Um, but they do fund. And in the beginning, you want pretty much any grant that you can get just to show that you have buy-in. from foundations. So other foundations can look at you and say, okay, well, other people are funding them. So you pick them wherever you can get them, and $500 grants are just fine. So um, some more search engines for your foundation grants is Candid. Candid is really great. And if you sign up with them, they'll send you an email every, I think it's weekly that it comes out. And they'll be kind of specific to your region. So you can just sign up and then you'll get like 10 or 15 grants just right in your email and you could just access from there. And usually they put that link in there so you can just click and go straight to that foundation and look at that grant. ProPublica, I haven't used them very much, but it is free and you can find 990s. And another really cool thing to do with these foundations is some of them will not put all the information on their website about what they fund or who they fund. But if you go and find their 990, everyone that they funded is going to be on that 990. And you can look and see if there's like organizations to yours that they have given money to in the past. And that would be a good indicator that that would be somebody you could apply to. So ProPublica has those 990s. You can go there. Grants.gov, we already talked about that one. So that's going to have all of your federal grants and things. There's a couple of sites that are paid and they have free trials. I don't, you got to watch it because the free trials will turn into, they'll charge you and if you don't watch. But with these two, like instrumental, you can do a search. If you're a new organization, you don't want to be spending all that money on. I just don't think you should on databases and things like that when there's a lot of free ways to get in there and just find the grants that you're going to need. You're going to get enough. But Instrumental will do free search, so you can search by type. You can type in EAL, and those grants will come up. Grants that serve veterans, grants, and you'll get a bunch, and you can go in. They won't let you go into the foundation itself, but all you do is copy and paste the name of the foundation, and then generally their website will come up. Grant Station's another one. They have a lot of grants, but again, it's paid. Grant Watch is also another one. I think they have a free search also on Grant Watch. It's not as comprehensive as the paid, but it's pretty good. The equine and animal welfare grants list grantable. There's 66 equine specific grants updated daily, which is great. Homes for Horses Coalition are really great. They have a grant directory there, and that thing is really comprehensive. I found a lot on that one. AAWA, I have not really used them much. I've been on that site a couple of times. I just wanted you to be aware that it was there. It does animal welfare grants, and so it's going to be for your dog, cat shelters also, and things like that. So the United Horse Coalition, those are rescues and sanctuary grants. Really great. That one you really want to, if you've got a sanctuary, go in there and take a look. They're good. You're gonna find some pretty good opportunities in there. So again, with the tip, start with the free tools, then invest in a paid database if you like it. So if I like Instrumental. If and I have it paid, I want that access because I have to have that. But if you don't like it, obviously you're not going to go in there. So yeah, that's that for that. Now, corporate grants, again, I talked about that in one of the last webinars that you want to look at these like the marketing. So it's advertising. They want the impact of as many people or horses or whatever you're doing that you can give them, and then pictures and all that good stuff. So there's three types of corporate giving. There's the direct grants, so that's going to be just the grant proposal that you're going to, same as foundation grants, you're going to apply. It's going to be competitive. They do sponsorships, so uh, they will fund your events as long as it's pretty high profile. Try and get the media to your events too. They absolutely love that when you can do that, and then you can build with with a corporation too. So if you do it once and it goes really really well, you can ask again, and then you can ask for more money on that one too. They also do in-kind donations, which is really great. If you're uh, say it's a grocery store that you're going to, they can donate food for your benefit. They can donate your champagne or whatever that goes with your benefit. So those are in-kind donations. Also, veterinary supply. You can get in-kind donations of meds uh, and syringes and things like that too. Just different things. We've Troxel. We've gotten helmets at a discount or donated out for programming too. So you can just reach out. Actually, with Troxel, I just sent them an email and said we're coming due. We're with Path, and we didn't realize that our helmets are at 5 years right now, so we're not able to use them after June, and they sent me a discount form. So yeah, you can do that. U.S. Corporate philanthropy was 44.4 billion in 2024. So it's something that you want to look at and just be brave. Go out there and just, ask for whatever you want. I like going in person or a phone call over email because I think it's more personal and you can really get into their heartstrings, and then you're talking about your program from where you're coming from rather than just in the body of an email. So that's my suggestion for that. Top corporate funders for animal welfare, PetSmart charities. They're great, really, really good. 3 to 5 million annually in shelter grants, and they help with veterinary. They're really, really great. Petco Love is another one, 15 million annually. The Banfield Foundation, I really like the Banfield Foundation. They do disaster relief and veterinary services too. They do it. The disaster relief with them is part of it, but they also just do the straight up veterinary services. If you just reach out to them and say, "Hey, we've got this horse. We just got it. It's got medically challenged. We've got big problems. We need help." They usually will help you. Tractor Supply is great. 15 million donated in 2025, and they're very responsive. It's usually pretty fast. Those are sponsorships with them. Pedigree Foundation and the Bissell Pet Foundation are two others. Those are for shelters and foster programs, and then for the adoption events. So they can do the sponsorship, especially Pedigree. Uh, well, Bissell too, but they can do the sponsorships. They can do the in-kind donations and the direct grants. So that's a good one. How to find grant opportunities. So there's double the donation. It's a leading corporate giving database. So that I'm going to talk about this in a little bit too. That it goes into employee matching and employee giving, and then the Grantmanship Center. It's got a listing of 1,200 corporations and corporate foundations by location. So uh, Yeah, emphasize. Yes. And then this note on this tip on the bottom, emphasize measurable impact and CSR alignment. So they really want, they want programs that can gonna have a lot of people out there and you're making a difference for a lot of people. And get your testimonials too to make sure that you get those testimonials so that you have something to give them. I always, especially with corporations, I will just give them everything that I get. Pictures, I get little snippets, I send video, I just do it. And they are very appreciative of that, and a lot of times they'll come back with more money on the next one. So, and this is what I was talking about with the employee matching. So the matching gifts, companies will match employees' donation. Usually it's a 1-to-1 ratio. So, $200 from the employee, $200 from the corporation. That equals 4 to 7 billion in matching gift grants that actually are unclaimed every year. 4 to 7 billion. That is a lot of money that will fund a lot of your programming. So really reach out to find out who has these matching programs and then get in there with their HR department, and have them put something into the checks that go out to the employees so that there's a little slip of paper in there that says, you know, blah, 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 ranch is looking for donations. So yeah, it's a good way to do it. So I reach out to the corporations. I used to have a listing, and it's not going to be up to date right now because I haven't done it in a while. But it's been very successful. I did some stuff with Fermi Labs, and they do a matching program, and it was really great. Uh, and 84% of donors, so the employees, are more likely to give when they know that there's a match because they know that instead of $200, they're giving $400, and it just makes them feel a little bit better. So, uh, and 26 million people work for companies with matching programs. So that's 2 out of 3 of the Fortune 500 companies. It's a lot of money, and it's a really good way to do it, and not everybody does it. So you're going to be ahead of the game if you're stepping up and doing this. To find them, double the donation again. I talked about that a couple minutes ago. It's a database with 24,000 company records, so that'll tell you um, a lot of the companies that do that, and just reach out. You can just reach out to the HR departments and say, I understand you have a matching program. Can we work together and just get something out to your employees so that they know about us? It's yeah, and just do the call straight out to HR. 360 Match Pro. It's a matching gift platform that integrates with your donation forms. So you can put your own forms in there and it'll go out. And then that's another tool that you can use to give to those HR departments and say, here's a website that you can, or here's your form that you can give out to your employees. Top industries for matching gifts: tech, really big. Google's good at it. Microsoft, Apple. Um, Financial is JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, your local credit union. Go to your local credit union because a lot of those credit unions do that matching, and you're already hometown, and you may even bank there. So if you do that, reach out, get all you can from the banks that you bank with too. Go in there and just say, hey, do you guys do grants? Do you guys, like I said, match? Can we get a sponsorship from you? Do you guys want to come out to our event and all that kind of stuff? Good. Do when you do your golf tournaments, if you do those, have them have them get a team. So that's that. Healthcare, Johnson and Johnson, Merrick and Pfizer. I reached out to Bayer once and was successful with them, but I haven't reached out to the other ones here. Retail, Walmart has, what is it? Good. Oh, what's the name of it? I don't remember the name of it. Good something. It's a little bit difficult to get in. It takes a couple of months, and you got to go back and forth with them. But once you get in, they they'll do a portion of their proceeds towards sales of people that designate that they want that to go to your organization. That'll come to you just automatically once you get in. Target does it, ExxonMobil and Chevron. And you can add that search widget to your donation page so donors can check their eligibility too, um, if they have that a matching program with who they work for. Now, other sources to look for grants and things like that. I go on like organizations' websites. So if somebody's doing kind of the same thing that I'm doing, I'll go on and I'll look. A lot of them will put who funded them, the logos of the sponsor or the logo of the grantor, and you can go on there and well, we've got a similar program. We can reach out and do that. So I do a lot of that from there. Another good source is documentary films on PBS. At the end of those documentary films, they're going to list their sponsors. They're going to list who funded that documentary, and if it's some programming that you're doing or the type of horses that you're working with, the Mustangs or whatever, yeah, you got a good chance there. So reach out to those funders too, or just look at their websites and see, if it fits. Instrumental, like I said before, Grant Watch and grants.gov. You're going to want to look for local platforms here in New Mexico. We have the Grant Plant, so those are going to be more local grants, and it's sometimes the ones that are just not kind of obscure sneak in there, and you wouldn't think to ask them, or you wouldn't even maybe know about them, and you can you can find some things when you do it locally like that. So just look who's doing your like your community trusts and things like that in your area. Just kind of look those up and join your chambers of commerce. Please, please, please do this. And you can do it at the lowest level. Usually it's a couple $100. But you're going to have a network of all the nonprofits in your area. And you're going to be able to, they usually have a nonprofit kind of, uh, I don't know, group coalition that you can go to those meetings and just exchange ideas and share and things like that. But the other thing is they're going to have all of the businesses in your area. So with all of those businesses, you can go in there and present as a member of the chamber to those businesses what you're doing, the difference it makes, and ask them to donate. So definitely, definitely join your chambers of commerce. Highly suggested. The last, or one of the last things I want to talk about is your uh, your legacy gifts. I know I keep bringing this up, but the legacy gifts, they're the gifts that are given when somebody designates a piece of their estate uh, to your organization. So it would be a straight up just a donation of whatever they say it's going to be, or it can be something again that they invest and then you get the proceeds every year from it. Uh, the way that you want to access that is to go to the probate attorneys. The, the total bequest is 45.84 billion in 2024 from planned gifts and legacy gifts. So it's substantial. And so when you go in to talk to those probate attorneys, make your packet, make your marketing packet, and hand them a stack of those and say, can you give these to your clients? Explain the program to the probate attorney or the business or the company, and then just have them hand that out to the estate planners, and you'd be very surprised. You'll be very surprised. How to find them? You can search your state bar association, lawyer, a lawyer directory for estate planning or probate. You can ask your local community foundation for referrals to attorneys who handle charitable giving, and you can attend estate planning seminars, which is a great idea. I love networking. Networking is just such an important tool for funding because it's face to face, and you're you're explaining your program from what from the feeling of it, not from text, not from email, not from a grant proposal. You're actually expressing the reason that you started things and why you do it. You're going to want to build a relationship with the attorneys and things like that, and then at the networking events to make sure that you get your elevator speech down so that you can really explain what you do, your mission, your vision, all that good stuff in just a couple of sentences and really quickly. And then you can go more in depth if the interest is there. Um, you're going to provide sample bequest language that they can include in their wills. So that's part with your regular marketing packet, you can add this in so you can have that text in there that it'll be ready for the will so that they can pop it right in there. Invite invite them to join a planned giving advisory council for your organization. And consider starting a legacy society to recognize and steward donors who will include you in their estate. So you can actually uh, start a legacy society within your organization and just talk it up and get people interested in donating, and then get a couple of big donations in there, and then you can talk about that too. So it's that. So I want to thank you again for participating in this webinar. We're going to keep doing them. This is my contact information. If you have any questions about anything that I spoke about today or in the previous webinars, please reach out. Also, if you have things going on within your organization where you're having problems with fundraising, I'm actually a strategic planning consultant too, and I've written curriculum for programming. So reach out if I don't have the answers. I have a lot of resources. I have a lot of people I know, so I can direct you into an area that or someone that will be able to help you. So please reach out. I'm very receptive. If I don't answer the phone right away, I will call you back. I promise. So again, thank you, everyone, and hopefully we'll see you next week with number 6. All right, thank you.